Welcome back to Switch to Linux. This is Tom and the cat. I brought the cat on so don't get hate. We'll get a lot of extra hate on this video. Not only are we running, we're going to be doing another Ubuntu video here. I'm also running, Windows 8! I'm just in the middle of doing some backup files and archiving some emails and stuff. And that's what that computer boots into Windows 8 about once, twice a month for that purpose. And so I'm over there doing a couple YouTube videos over there and just looking at some things on that computer. So that is Windows 8 if you're curious. As ugly as Windows 8 is. Look at that. Oh yeah. So we're just going to kind of plug on here, and what we're going to do is have another brief discussion on Ubuntu. I have been following Ubuntu since I did the last video about 6 weeks ago, which was on January 1st. I posted that video, and yeah, that video got a whole lot of hate, and that's quite okay. You know, this channel, I am still expressing my views and my opinions, and my views and my opinions on what Ubuntu is doing right now is a little, it's a little interesting because the challenge is, and the thing is that Ubuntu, for so many people, Ubuntu was the foray into Linux. Of course, a lot of your Linux desktop computers are based on Ubuntu, and the package base is pretty solid, and that's all a good thing. And so with all of that being said, the reason I'm coming down harder on Ubuntu is the same reason a teacher will come down a little harder on the best student than on the worst student in the class. You know, the worst student on the class, if they show up and get a C, awesome, that's great, okay? But if they're a person that they already excel, they're already doing well, they're already on the right level, and then they just start to slip, or in this case, seem to fall off the cliff, then, you know, we have a circumstance where we need to, you know, we need to call into question some of what they're doing. I have no idea why, but this cat is being really loud and really annoying all of a sudden, so she's going to come up and be on the camera for a little bit. So this kitty, you want to say hi? You keep on meowing over there. You want to say something? Say something right to the mic? No? Okay, I guess she does. Alright. Please, be quiet, kitty. Alright. So, we're going to have another look here at Ubuntu, and I have been looking at it at least once a week, and the sad reality is not much has changed. There are some direct articles now saying that yeah, we're not going to be on target for 17.04, maybe 17.10, but everything is still a developer preview. Developer preview, developer preview. I'm just not sure how you can run a developer preview because nothing seems to work. But between the various daily builds, more things are working and then breaking and then working and then breaking and then working and then breaking. Yesterday, I could actually play a game of solitaire. Today, the solitaire game just sits there and hangs after an update. The biggest challenge I had yesterday as I was trying to work on rebuilding the Ubuntu computer here is I downloaded the latest daily build, and Unity 8's not even on it. I actually had to install Unity 8, and then I'm running into all sorts of issues. So we're going to have a quick look here at some articles. Well, first, let's have a quick look at how the video is doing. All right, so let me just do a quick double check, make sure we're good. All right, we are. All right, so I'm only on one monitor right now, so I'm trying to do everything on the single monitor setup. So here's the last Ubuntu video I did, Ubuntu 17. Will Unity 8 be ready for an April release? Of course, the answer to that is no. You'll see here a lot of people. There was a lot more dislikes on my video than the likes, and that's okay. That's just fine by me. And then some of the comments, a lot of the people were saying, you know, some people were saying, like this person here says, I like the design. I said, I'm not a big fan of this flat UI. At least there is a little bit of color to the logos. Some of the distros are now coming out with monochrome logos, and it's like, that's just blinding to me. In fact, the LibreOffice on Linux Mint 17.3 did that by default, and I changed that to look a little bit better. Of course, the new developer preview of Windows 10 does the same thing. All of the Windows icons are like two colors, and it's so hard to see. But some people are saying they like the design. Like I said, I don't, but it's a matter of personal preference. And then, there's just, you can read through the comments on that video what people were saying. And for the most part, I don't really care if you agree or disagree, whatever else. If you have a lot of vulgarity or are verbally abusive to people, I'm probably going to, at the very minimum, delete your comment or potentially block you. But if you're just disagreeing with me, I don't care. If you're disagreeing with a lot of vulgar words, you'll probably get your comment deleted. So I don't care. But and like I said, it does not bother me at all that the dislike ratio is so high on that video, because frankly, this is my opinion, and I didn't come down quite as hard on some of the other distros that I do pros and cons of that still don't have it where it is. But with Ubuntu, even the Unity 7 is a practically unusable system. So we'll have a little look at Unity 7 on Ubuntu 17.04 as well. But the reason, understand, I'm coming down hard on it, and I know it's not in full release, but it is an alpha. And the reason I come down hard on it is for a couple reasons. The first is this is one of the standard Linux operating systems for a desktop computer. Or as some would prefer, a GNU Linux. Yeah, I just deleted somebody's comment who left that thing. Yeah, I know what GNU Linux is. This channel is for people who are looking at making a switch over to Linux. And I just want to give people the information they need to do that. But that leads me to the second thing. A lot of people hear about Ubuntu, and a lot of your computers, like if you go to System 76, almost all the computers, you can get Dell to pre-install Linux, but almost all of the systems, not all, but almost all of these systems where you can purchase a computer pre-installed with Linux, it's pre-installed with Ubuntu. And if you update your Ubuntu into something that doesn't work well or isn't well established, then we run into some challenges. And so that's another major reason why I'm coming down so hard on Ubuntu. It's not that I hate Ubuntu. I actually really like it. In fact, somebody had commented in my video I did yesterday, oh, there's Ubuntu in the background. Yes. And that's because I was doing a lot of things on an AWS server yesterday, and when I'm using AWS server, I like the Ubuntu build a lot better than most other builds for doing that stuff. It's just for some reason the terminal over there just looks a little bit better, and if I have to full screen a terminal and do a bunch of stuff, it's just a lot easier. Plus the keyboard on that computer is better. I could use my Linux Mint KDE, but that computer is a little bit slow and a little bit laggy, mostly due to a bad hard drive. So I use this computer here for Ubuntu, on Ubuntu when I'm using AWS servers or things like that. And I also do all my media file transfers, backup files, and everything through that computer. However, if it has to force itself to upgrade to 17.04 and the things run into some of the instabilities, then, that's an issue. And the third reason I come down hard on Ubuntu right now is I ran 16.04 as an alpha months before its release. And frankly, it was good and it was stable. The only time I actually ran into any problems with 16.04 is once it officially upgraded to 16.04. I ran into some issues then. Other than that, though, Ubuntu's generally done pretty good, but it's not doing all that great now. So, you can check out the video there in the comments. But what I wanted to look at is just have a quick look at a few articles that I encountered, including some comments. So there was an article out just earlier this week, and where the guy, hi Kitty, Kitty's back, hi Kitty. Okay, so the this is the founder of Canonical, I think founder. Let's see. I think founder of Canonical. And what he's basically had to say that, yeah, we've kind of missed the Unity 8. They really wanted Unity 8 out a long time ago. And I remember when 16.04 came out, people were like, where's Unity 8? And they finally put the developer preview in 16.10, so my Ubuntu 16.10 computer can load into Unity, and it still isn't very good. But all of that being said, you can read through this article here, which is from the Register, and they had a lot of discussions. You know, they wanted the idea behind the new system, which included Mir and Unity 8, all to be, you know, one platform to work everywhere. And that's really a key point I wanted to talk about a little bit here. That with your one platform everywhere, I can see why Windows wants to do that. I really can. Because they lock you into a UI. They lock you into a structure and a platform that you really don't have much choice in the matter. You can customize a little bit how it looks like, but not a whole lot. And but they also have the surfaces they wanted to do. You know, they have all the surfaces that they want to do. They have the phones that they wanted to do, and they wanted to try and build one system to work well for everywhere. Okay. I really think that Mac is the one that has this figured out. They have the Mac OS X for the desktop computers. And then they have the separate OS for the tablets and for the phones. And they have a lot of similar styles in them, but they don't have... Oh boy, the cat's going to be cute. Oh boy. Cat's going to be cute. Yeah. Look at that. Sheesh, kitty. Cat's just taking over the show here. All right. We'll get less dislikes on this one because of the cat. What? All right. Fruitless to resist. All right. So, anyway, they have a lot of stylistic parts that are the same, but they realize that the way a person uses a computer is different than the way a person uses a tablet or a phone. And we have to keep that in perspective. And Windows, I can kind of understand what they're trying to do. Mac, okay. Linux makes no sense to try and produce one platform for everything because we have the availability of all these desktop environments. So when you look at what a distro is the package base, which software is pre-installed, your package manager, and your desktop environment. And the desktop environment is really what causes the overlay. So essentially, what a lot of people are saying is the Ubuntu phone is effectively dead in the water. And that is so sad. Because the Ubuntu phone, for me, the Ubuntu phone is something I was so looking forward to. But even that, you can start with the Ubuntu Touch base. KDE, though, is also working on a phone structure. And I'm not sure if theirs is quite as dead in the water as Ubuntu's is. And so with that, you install the base, the Ubuntu base, which you need because of they had some other structure working. And then you install a different desktop environment on top of it. So with that, it makes no sense on a Linux platform especially to try and produce one desktop environment that works the same on a desktop and on a tablet and on a phone. It just doesn't seem to make sense to me. But that's what they seem to try to do, and I don't know why. And some of the comments that we have seen here are reminiscent of some of that, and I will probably not be able to spot where all of those comments were right away. But there was a lot of back and forth on the comment thread on this, and I really liked a lot of the comments. You know, like one of the comments here was, how many people really want one desktop environment to work everywhere? Or are we just wasting resources with this kind of stuff? And I can understand the potential need, but what's wrong with utilizing a code base and then creating the separate desktop environment to sit on top of a phone and a completely separate one like Mac did? A separate ones but have a lot of unifying elements between them. So having a look at the comments on this group, and I don't generally like all of the comments. Sometimes you get some nasty stuff going back and forth, but all the comments on this article are very well thought out. Some people are saying that, you know, they used Ubuntu when they first moved to Linux, but because of changes in the UI, they've went on to other things. A lot of people are saying Mint is where they're going. Some people are looking at Arch and Mate. A lot of people were frustrated with where Unity and GNOME were going. And for that reason, I think what I really like about Linux is that you can keep the type of desktop environment that you want, because even if the main project says we're going to go this way, there's enough people that like the old way that they'll just fork it right there and do something different. And I think that's where Cinnamon came from, which is just, in my opinion, a fabulous desktop. And it's very much like Windows. And frankly, that's how I'm fast and efficient. So, you know, I kind of like that. Now, as I'd said when I had first reinstalled Ubuntu with a daily build yesterday, Unity 8 was not even on it. So I took these steps to install Unity 8. Basically, I just ran this command here to get the Unity 8. And then there is the article here says to include this PPA. It's recommended right now. Do not do that. Apparently, that will break most systems. So, you know, and of course, Unity 8 is a developer preview, and I recognize that, and that's, you know, that is to me perfectly fine. So what we're going to do here is give me just a second here, and what we're going to do is I'm going to move over and we'll have a quick look at the screen. Okay. Okay. So this still does not seem to support any screen sharing. And I'll show you too real quick, just because I'm sure that somebody will hand me this in the comments for sure. So what we'll do is let me transition over to here, and there is this video here with this individual that has a lot of Unity 8 things, and there's this video here where it's kind of showing you the current state. I have no idea how this build was put together. I cannot see how to do any of what they're doing as far as putting anything else on the scopes window or anything else. Haven't seen any instructions. I've looked for it. I've hunted for it. No idea how any of that is working. But this is a video. It was posted just 2 days ago, and again, no clue. I mean, I'm good enough at this stuff, and I've tried so many different computers trying to install this stuff. I cannot get any apps to work on multiple builds. I've downloaded old builds, new builds, you know, middle of the road builds. I've done updates. I've tried them with updates, without updates, with internet, without internet. I've installed the third-party software. I've not installed third-party software. So, you know, there is this video out here. I'd like to see how that was put together. If somebody can point me towards how they built that so I could try and replicate it, I would gladly do that. But, you know, I'm very scientific, so if I can find some instructions, I'll see where I can replicate it and, you know, and if that'll work. But regardless, here's where we are still at. Like I said yesterday, I could load up Klondike and play some cards. Right now, I'm just met with this black screen after an update. Here's the browser. It just crashes. The only real updates that I have seen is the Ubuntu logo up here now does actually give us the application list, and I actually like this list. This is a very good improvement as to how the old method was. But I mean, I think the Amazon link works. Maybe. I thought it did. Maybe it doesn't anymore. Here's your disks, so we can see what we have there as far as the disks. So something again has apparently broken. Other things I really do not like about the structure right now is it is still way too heavy on hot corners and hot edges. So if you hot edge over here on the far right, you get basically the effective same keyboard key as an Alt Tab. And then you go far right, you do this. Well, I'll tell you, I hate hot edges. I hate hot corners. I want nothing to do with them. But that's how you want to build the structure, because how else do you pull those things up on a tablet? And that's the thing I'm talking about. On a tablet, that makes perfect sense to have swipe in from the sides, whatever else, just like Windows 8 does. But even on Windows 8, you know, since I'm on Windows 8 over here, I'll tell you, if you got to come over and use a hot edge to pull up your menus to do anything, which makes perfect sense on a touchscreen device like on my Surface, which runs Windows 8. That's a perfectly fine thing. But on a computer, it drives me mad because I'll be doing something, I'll throw the mouse out of the way so I can get to the keyboard, and then it automatically hits a hot edge I never intended to use, and now it overlays things on top of what I'm doing. And so that is why you want a different UI for a computer as you want for a tablet. So let's leave this, and we're going to go back into the Unity 7. And on Unity 7, I get all sorts of bugs still. So you got to come over here, click on the icon, go back to the Ubuntu logo. Type in my super secret password, Ubuntu. Yeah. And now we're back to Unity 7, and now I'm just met with these error windows constantly. Like, constantly. I can't do anything without getting error windows. Of course, 17.04 has experienced an error. Let's see what the details are on this one. It's a policy kit, Unity 8, policy kit agency. It's a crash. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and submit this. It keeps on wanting to do something else. Let's see. I don't have my account handy right now. So basically here, it's just constantly in a state of crash. Now, mind you, the same time last year, I was using the developer preview build of Ubuntu. I have no idea. Like, okay, Cheese just opened. I have no idea why. And then now I'm left with all these guys. Constant crashes. Now, same time last year, I was working on Ubuntu 16.04 alpha build with no stability issues in the slightest. No problems anywhere. Now, up here, if I go into my system settings, I mean, it's even just the little details. Here, it's telling me it's still Ubuntu 16.10. Not sure why. But then up here, if you're used to, on Ubuntu, if you're used to coming up here to the menu, nothing up here actually seems to do anything. The lock and log out, suspend, and shut down do seem to work. Obviously, I'm not going to click those right now, but nothing else up here in this menu actually works anymore. And this is how this has been for a month. There have been developer builds every single day. I don't know. I have not seen anything that's actually is working. Okay, so here's the Amazon link. So that works here. That did work for me in the Unity 8 preview build yesterday. Same with the card game there did. So, like I said, you know, I really like the new platform way better than this platform. But really, we have right now, yes, this is not a release build. This is not a production build. But compared to last year at this time, this thing doesn't do anything at all. And we'd expect a little bit of results at this point in time. And that's kind of what my concern is that I'm not sure what's going on with Ubuntu. It seems like, you know, we're getting closer and closer and closer to a release deadline. We're getting very close to the application freeze. And I'm not seeing any stability whatsoever. I would love to have something nice to report. I'd love to be able to come on and say, wow, the browser works. In fact, one day the browser did work, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. The browser on Unity 8 worked for a day or two. And then it simply stopped. Everything crashes again. So there's still nothing. So while there is this one person with a video of the Ubuntu 17.04 Unity 8 current state, which actually has running software and programs, I'd really like to know how to get that to work, because I can't seem to do that. With that being said, You know, I mean, this certainly is going to be another video. There's another system crash. I don't know. I haven't even been doing anything. It's just crashed. It wants a password this time. What crashed this time? I don't know. Go, Ubuntu, go, go, go! Alright. Okay, that's a firewall crashed. I hope you're not epileptic. Probably caused somebody to go and have a seizure at this point. Yeah, let's hide details and... Wow. You know, like I said, last year, at this time, I was using a 16.04 preview build for actual production. I built an entire AWS web server on this last year. Built a couple websites. I grabbed all of my media files, ripped all my CDs, did a whole lot of networking stuff, all on the alpha build from last year. I mean, I don't know what's going on, because this here, I can't do anything with it at all. I'm not even sure I could confidently run a program without it crashing. So this is, for me, a challenge. And again, you know, a lot of people are not going to like this. I'm going to hear the same comments probably. You know, this isn't ready for prime time. I'm aware of that. But we're either making radical changes and moving towards Unity 8, or we're not. And if we're not, why does the system keep on perpetually crashing? What is going on here? I don't know. And it's like we've lost, essentially it seems like we've probably lost the direction moving towards the Ubuntu phone, which I think would be an awesome thing, all for one desktop environment to rule them all. And, you know, on Windows I can understand it. I think Mac took the best way to do it. On Linux it makes no sense at all. Just create a different desktop environment. And I guess that's, you know, that kind of leads us into the same thing. Why is it that Ubuntu used to be such a well sought after distro, and right now it is not quite as much. In fact, I'm going to see where it is on DistroWatch as of right now. So Ubuntu is still number 3 on DistroWatch. It's actually going up a little bit. Mint is staying static at number 1, Debian number 2, OpenSUSE 4, Manjaro 5, Elementary 6, Fedora 7, Zorin 8, and Deepin 9, and CentOS 10. So, you know, Ubuntu itself, I mean, it's still up there, but the problem is, and the reason I'm being critical, is a lot of people, when you think of moving over to Linux and thinking about Linux, obviously nowadays Mint is a number 1 distro people are looking at. Elementary has been moving up as a distro to look at. Both of those are fine distros to use. But Ubuntu is still up there that people find and hear from. And if you're thinking about using Ubuntu, but we're getting into this type of system, you know, it's going to turn some people off. I think Unity would turn some people off immediately because it is so much different from Mac or Windows. But I'm even noticing some instability things in 16.10. 16.04 seemed to be okay once the bugs got worked out. But in reality, it doesn't seem like Ubuntu is moving in a good direction. And I'm losing confidence that they will have a good workable product when the hard release date comes in April. That's just my thoughts, and maybe about another month or so. I think Feature Freeze is coming this week, if I remember the Ubuntu release schedule. I'm pretty sure the Feature Freeze is coming this week, or at least maybe it's the kernel freeze. I don't know, some freeze is coming this week. And with that being said, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what is in store for Ubuntu moving forward. But this is just a real brief update video. I mean, there's videos of people doing cool stuff. All of the videos that I've seen where Ubuntu works is that same person over there I showed you that video for. I'd love to see how they have that computer built. I'd love to be able to preview it in that way, but as of right now, I can't. And what I'm interested in the comments is, let me know, have you looked at the Unity 17.0 preview build, and has your experience been closer to mine, or do you actually have something you can do workable stuff with? And with all of that being said, this is Tom and the cat, and we are here to say, we hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.